have readers.
Yep.
Everybody's got, oh, we'll need the microphone and we'll need a candle down here.
Oh, a helper candle.
No laying your hands on fire. Just barely. Do you want to introduce Sandra? Would you like to introduce Sandra playing the gathering music? Oh, I can.
When is, oh,
Yes, first. Now.
that's before. Good morning. We're going to begin this morning with some gathering music by Sandra Thomas. Well, good morning again. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Ellen Greenwood. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and it's my honor to be the worship associate for this morning's service. Westside is a congregation that welcomes each and every person to the best of our ability. We make an attempt to welcome everyone regardless. We just ask that you are willing to join with us in a responsible search for truth and meaning in our lives, and a respectful search. We welcome you whether you are at home watching us on YouTube or whether you are right here with us in person. And if you are visiting with us here this morning in person, we especially want to invite you to stay for a few minutes after the service, have some coffee, and get to know us just a little bit better. We do have a few announcements before we begin this morning. They are in your order of service if you are here in person, so I will let you read those for yourselves. They will be on your screen if you are watching this service at home on YouTube. I would draw one of these to your attention, and that is in our order of service, the very first one, sponsoring a meal for the Bottoms Black Outside program. And if you would like to do that, there are a couple of ways that you can. You can just go ahead and make a donation to the Bottom, and with the links that are given for you there. Reverend Carroll was telling some of us this morning that actually Westside has made a contribution to the Bottom through our Minister's Discretionary Fund. And if you would like, you could make a donation back to Westside, just marked for the Minister's Discretionary Fund, and that would help us to cover that. So that is another way for you to contribute to this group that we are trying very hard to partner with in a way that will be affirming for them and for us also. At this time, our minister, the Reverend Carol Bodeau, will invite our singing bowl to sing.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to lift this up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Can you hear me okay? It's nice to see you all this morning. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm Reverend Carol Bodeau. I'm privileged to serve here as minister. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I'm happy to see you all. Happy to see those of you who are with us virtually, whether you're here this morning or at some point in the future. Glad to have you with us on this beautiful summer day. Today we're going to be talking about vision. We're going to be talking about your highest aspirations for yourself and how we can really honor the aspirations that we have and live into them. So I'm going to invite our bowl to sound this morning, and as I do so, the first thing I'd like to invite you to do is first just take a couple deep breaths and become present. Because I know there's always things that just happened in our minds, things that we're getting to or going towards, but it's a really nice gift we can give ourselves to just be present in the moment. And as you're present in the moment, just call to mind whatever it is that you hold as the thing you would most like to fulfill for yourself. Maybe that's a goal for today or this week or this life, whatever. Just call to mind a goal that you have or a vision that you have for your best life.
As Reverend Carol lights our chalice this morning, I would like to share these words with you. These come from Maureen Killeran by way of the UUA's worship web. In this free church, we come together without creed, focusing instead on the core values of justice, equity, and compassion, of mutual acceptance of our diverse ways of being as we seek to connect ourselves more fully with the unfolding truths of life and our world. We come together in shared conviction that all people deserve a voice in matters that concern them, and that it is up to each of us to protect the rights of all, particularly those who, for whatever reason, have long been held in silence. We come together in the stubborn belief that community is possible and that peace is more than a dream. We commit together to affirm in our actions as well as our words the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. We come together in awareness of our interdependence of all humanity and with the wider web of existence, for that too is part of what is meant by we. In this free church, we come together without creed, believing that the way we live in the world bears testament to the value of our beliefs. We light this chalice as a beacon of hope for those who have gathered here this day, for all who have ever walked through our doors, for those who are watching us from home, for those who may yet find this spiritual home, and for those whose paths will never come our way. For all this and for all those things we dare to hope and dream, we kindle our chalice flame this day.
Okay, I'm going to take a minute to mess with this thing. Hold on here. How's that? Can you hear me without me having to duck my head and do acrobatics? I want to let you guys know about a couple of things. Before we talk about personal vision, I want to let you know about something that happened very recently in our denomination. So, our denomination, how many of you are familiar with the 7 principles? 1, each person is important, 2, be kind in all you do. Okay, so we have had these 7 principles for many years as the core of the way we function. And we've talked recently about the fact that the denomination, those 7 principles were new. They weren't the original Unitarian or Universalist stated mission or value statements. Those are the most recent version of our statement of mission. And there have been intermediate versions all along. We are currently in the middle of a revision of that statement of principles and purposes. So you've heard me talk about this a little bit if you've been around over the last few months. There was a proposed revision to that part of our denomination's bylaws. At the General Assembly a couple of weeks ago, the initial approval of the revisions was passed. So right now, we are in the beginning of a 1-year period of discussion. Congregations have a year to talk about these proposed revisions. They will be voted on again next June. If they pass again next June, what we understand as those familiar 7 principles, it's going to look different. They have been revised. So I encourage you, because this is a statement, we'll be talking more about shared vision next week, but this is a revision of our statement as a denomination about our vision for ourselves as an institution, as a collective institution. And the most important thing to note about that, some of the language is the same, some of it's really different. That within each statement, they're much longer, there is a statement of accountability. Okay? There are specific, many of the ways that our previous principles and purposes looked is we just think these are good ideas. But now they say, not only do we think these are good ideas, we're going to hold ourselves accountable to taking action on these ideas. So I'm going to try to have some copies of the latest revisions ready for you by next week when we talk about shared vision. But I encourage you to go online and look at those. That it's something that we all need to be aware of because this is a change for our whole denomination. So that is something to be thinking about. And on that same note, things not scripted into the sermon, our rainbow signs are gone again this morning. So that is okay, folks, because you know what? We have the ability to replace them. So let's just take a moment and reflect on that fact that these are times when we live in a contentious world, but we don't have to polarize. We have the capacity to love literally infinitely. There is no limit on your capacity to love or on our capacity to love. That is an unlimited thing. The supply is completely personally determined. Nobody can take away that capacity from any one of us under any circumstance. Love is something that we are and that we have the ability to share infinitely, if we can simply come into our centers and remember that. So, we will replace the signs again and continue to love more. But let's just take a moment to remember that in ourselves. At the heart of our ability to fulfill the visions we have for ourselves and our world, I will argue, and this is in our new principles stated by our denomination, love is at the center. And there's no cutting off the supply of that unless we cut it off for ourselves. We have the capacity to always access that with a little help from each other. So, for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about leadership because, if nothing else, I think that people come into a place like Westside or any institution hoping to be examples of positive change in the world. We want to set a good example. That's a form of leadership. A number of weeks ago, I talked about a model of leadership called stewardship leadership. And so for the next few weeks, we're going to talk about the kinds of things, the kinds of qualities that are part of being steward leaders, okay, for ourselves, for our families, for our congregation, for our world. So the first quality in stewardship leadership is having a sense of personal vision and personal mastery. So let's start with I'll just do a quick refresher on what is stewardship leadership and how's it different from other kinds of leadership. So traditional leadership, if you think about the kind of like a king's leadership or a business owner who decides, I'm going to make a profit on this thing and I'm going to have a team. That kind of leadership is often focused on the leader deciding what they want and the team is there to support the leader getting what they want. Right? Now, the team may get some rewards as a result of that. They may get support, they may get money, but really the goal is for the leader to get what they want. Okay, a successful product or whatever. That version of leadership has been kind of going out of style for a long time. Now, an alternative to that is what's called servant leadership. And in the servant leadership model, the leader's job is to serve the team. So, you might see this in a congregation, for example. You might say that the minister's job is simply to serve the needs of the congregation, to serve the people who are there. You might see it in, for example, like a co-op kind of an institution as well, where the leader's job is just to serve the collective. Stewardship leadership is something in the middle. Okay? In stewardship leadership, what happens is leadership, and this can be in an individual's life, in a community like this, someone who thinks of their leadership as a steward is ideally, the goal is to be a leader who supports the team, but also supports higher values. Okay? So that's where it's important. It's not about me getting my needs met. It's not about you getting your needs met only. It's about us all supporting each other and everybody getting their needs met while higher values are honored and supported. And that is different. This has become increasingly a model, not just for nonprofits, but also for-profit institutions. It's something that's becoming increasingly understood to be a really good way to run an organization, maybe a family, maybe a life. Okay, so The idea in stewardship leadership is that every single person on the team, whether that's in our congregation, in our town, in our family, in our community, every single person has a role to play and a voice that matters. But together, we combine those to support something bigger. So, I have handed out some readings to some of you. And what I'm going to ask Ellen to do is take the microphone around. And yes, you have a smirk on your face.
That's because I've lost my reading.
Okay. Okay, but wait, I think I found it. Hold on, wait. Teamwork. Teamwork
Yay.
makes the dream work. Okay, so what we're going to do, these are quotes about being visionary, about holding a vision. So collectively, we hold collective visions, but we start with our own personal visions. We start with our personal visions, and then we combine them for collective visions. So we have passed out, I believe there are 10 of them, and we're going to do them in order. So I'm going to call out the number, and then Ellen will bring you the microphone so that you can read whatever quote it is you have. So this is our way of saying every voice matters, and we also take inspiration. So who's got number 1? Anne has number 1.
The difference between a dreamer and a visionary is that a dreamer has his eyes closed and a visionary has his eyes open. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Thank you. Okay, who's got number 2? Look at your piece of paper. Who has number 2? Who's lost number? Who's got it? Huh, fascinating. Well, moving on to number 3 then.
The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it's too low and we reach it. Michelangelo.
Number 3? 4. Oh, 4, sorry. Number 2 is going to appear magically at some point.
Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and to change the world. Harriet Tubman.
5, are we on 5?
I have 5.
Okay.
If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. And these words are from Henry David Thoreau.
Okay. Judy has number 6.
Everyone has inside of her a piece of good news. The good news is that you don't know how great you can be, how much you can love, what you can accomplish, and what your potential is. Anne Frank.
Number 7. Joey has it back here, Alan.
This one comes from Alice Walker. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any.
Number 8. Nathan.
This is from Steve Jobs. Being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed at night saying we've done something wonderful, that's what matters to me.
Okay, who's got 9? Chris has number 9.
Thank you. This is by Julia Cameron. Artists are visionaries. We routinely practice a form of faith, seeing clearly and moving toward a creative goal that shimmers in the distance, often visible to us, but invisible to those around us.
And Dwayne has number 10.
one's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices one makes, and the choices we make are ultimately our own responsibility. That's by Eleanor Roosevelt.
So think for a minute, based on these different quotes, what are the qualities? What are the qualities of vision and living into a vision, right? Vision is aspirational. So different institutions have visions and mission statements, but we as individuals, either consciously or unconsciously, have visions and aspirations. And there are certain qualities that help us recognize and embody our vision. So I ask you to think about this for a second. What vision do you have for yourself in your own life? Many of us have some kind of an ideal image of ourselves, who we think we could be, or who we should be. And I like to think of this as an image we dance with our whole lives, right? How many of us have like, oh, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, but if only I had, if I'd made that choice, then I would, right? And then the aspiration comes up and we do something else. And we dance with, it's very rarely a straight line, okay, here's my vision, I'm taking these 12 steps and I'm achieving my vision. That's usually not how our lives go, because life intervenes. But ask yourself, what is your vision for yourself? You may feel like you've reached that ideal, or you may feel like it's perpetually out of reach. Another thing that we often think about when we think about our vision is how others are in relationship to our vision. Do you think that others support your vision or hinder your vision? You may feel that your vision serves a larger good, or you may feel that it's contrary to the larger good. How many of us have a vision for ourselves that we feel kind of guilty about? Right? Often we have a vision. Now, there's two different kinds of visions. There's the I should vision, and then there's I really want to vision. So take a moment and think about that. Do you have an I should vision? And is it the same as your I want to vision? An I want to vision might be, I really want to spend 8 months writing a novel. And then the should says, but that would be really selfish. Maybe not. It's hard to say. So what kinds of shoulds or beliefs do you have around your vision? Some of us have really big visions, right? I want to write a Broadway musical or sail around the world teaching about social justice, or I want to save all the sea turtles. Or we may have what seems like a small vision. I just want to feed my family well, or be fully present each day. I might want to contribute to the success of my neighborhood schools, or simply find some peace, right? So we have these visions, and often we have more than one, and sometimes they're in conflict with each other. So it seems like this first step in stewardship leadership, personal vision, is not as simple as it seems, right? And then we have to ask the question, how in the world are we supposed to bring all our personal visions together to make one collective shared vision? Because it's a little bit tricky. Regardless of what your personal vision or visions for yourself are, there's sort of a challenge that we all face in this world. Fulfilling those visions is a bumpy journey. It's a bumpy journey. It is fraught with sometimes conflict between ourself and others, or ourself and ourself, right? It's challenged by unexpected twists and turns of fate. You think you know what you're going to do, and then nature intervenes and the plumbing breaks, or you've decided to accomplish a task and then you get sick, or things happen. Our journeys are often twisty and turny. The other thing that happens with our personal vision is we have some feelings. So that can get in the way too, where we're not so sure, we think we're going along great, and then we have a feeling of like hopelessness or disillusionment or despair, or a feeling of elation that is short-lived. Okay, so vision can have all these sorts of twists and turns associated with it. That's why personal mastery is part of the story. Personal mastery, and we're going to talk eventually about collective mastery. Personal mastery is part of the story because in order to get past those kinds of challenges, you got to have some stamina and some determination and some practices, right? So, we hold that image of who you want to be or who you want to become or what your vision for yourself is. And now let's ask a process question. Well, first, let's ask an assessment question. Don't say this out loud, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, I am just not achieving my personal vision, and 10 being like, I am rocking my personal vision, what kind of rating would you give yourself? Just think about that for a second. How do I think I've done so far at whatever life stage I'm at in achieving my vision for myself? And this can be uncomfortable, okay? Because here's the catch. If it's a vision, we are almost always going to feel like we've fallen short of it, right? One of the things I often say to people when we're talking about Unitarian Universalism is, we don't live up to our principles, we live towards our principles. They are ideals. They are meant to move us forward. We're not, if we already had them all mastered, it would be easy. There are things we move towards. So that sense of a space between ourselves and our ideal is normal and healthy. Okay, now, so you've kind of got an assessment of yourself and your relative to your vision. What would you like to do next towards your personal vision? What would you like to experience or try or experiment with towards your personal vision? And ask yourself this next question. Do you think it's possible to achieve the next step in your vision for yourself? Now, how many of you have ever in your life used the phrase, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but? The single biggest enemy to our personal visions is the yeah, but. Okay? So we all gotta identify our yeah, buts. What are your yeah, buts? Yeah, but I'm too old. Yeah, but I don't have enough money. Yeah, but that ship has already sailed. Yeah, but I got too many responsibilities. Yeah, but I don't know how. Yeah, but I don't have the skills. Yeah, but other people won't like it if I do it. Yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, right? What is it that you think is going to prevent you? And it might be just plain inertia. Yeah, whatever. I tried. Who cares? Not worth it. As we heard from Alice Walker a few minutes ago, one of the biggest ways people give away their power is by thinking they don't have it in the first place. Yeah, buts are all ways that we say we don't have power. Knowing what we see as our limitations or as our obstacles can help us identify the places where we feel powerless. And they are also the places we can get our power back. So, personal mastery, some of the qualities we heard in those readings, personal mastery is really about reclaiming your power. Think for a minute about, come up with 3 things in your head. Where are three ways you think you are powerless or don't have power? Age, economics, political context, social context, what's happening in the world, whatever it is. Think about the ways that you might feel you don't have power to control things. Now, overcoming those places of disempowerment by empowering yourself and each other, this is where collective action comes in, is how we actually make progress on our visions. So the first quality you got to have in order to get anything done towards a visionary goal is you got to know who you are. You don't have to raise your hand. Feel free to raise your hand if you want to. How many of us sometimes would rather not know who we really are and want to avoid it? Sometimes we don't actually want to admit that. Who am I really? What do I really think about that thing? I'm going to say I think this because everybody else in the room says they think this, but I'm not really sure that that's what I actually think. Who do I have to, where do I pretend to be someone I'm not? The first quality you have to have in personal mastery to fulfill the life that's really your vision for yourself is you have to be willing to admit and recognize who you actually are. And you have to be willing to honor that person. Okay? Me telling myself I should write a symphonic piece would be, that's a great vision, but it's not me. I don't have that vision, I don't have that skill, it's not me. If everybody else said, Carol, you should write a symphony, and I tried it, I would probably be kind of disappointed because it's not who I really am. Now that's a crazy, exaggerated example, but you all know in your own head who it is you're trying to be to please other people. That's going to get in the way of you being you. So regardless of what life stage you're at, whether you're a young person just starting into your life or an elder with a lot of experience behind you, knowing yourself well is really important. And second, being able to identify your dreams and visions, regardless of whether you think they're possible, regardless of what life stage you're at, being able to actually say, well, I may be almost 60 years old, but I still would like to cliff dive in the Bahamas and travel around the world on a sailboat, right? None of the yeah-buts get to come into it. You have to at least be able to say, this is what I dream of. This is what I envision. Okay? Now, the catch is we have to also recognize our circumstances. So 1, know yourself. 2, know your dream. 3, know your circumstances. It's important to assess what's possible. The yeah-buts are going to tell us all sorts of things that are not possible. But this is about telling us what is possible. As Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said in one of our readings, having a vision is about having a vision with your eyes open, recognizing your circumstances, and being adaptive. Choices matter. This is where we discern the difference between an obstacle and being powerless. There are obstacles. Someone does keep taking down our sign. It's happening. We have to keep adapting. Okay? That's a circumstance that's real. We may have a vision of a world where no one wants to take down the sign, but that's not the world we're in. So we hold the vision without feeling powerless, and we adapt. We keep putting the sign back up. That's a choice we get to make. We are not powerless just because there are obstacles. And as we heard from Eleanor Roosevelt, it is our choices that define how well we live into our vision. We can't change all the external circumstances that affect our lives. We can't control everybody and everything outside of ourselves. But we can make choices that empower us, and we can help to empower each other by supporting their choices that empower them. Every single day, hundreds of times a day, you make choices. Sometimes they're simple little choices. What do I do first thing when I get up in the morning? Do I get up and meditate for 10 minutes, or do I get up and say, oh, there's no point? Do I go for that walk, or do I not? Every single day we make choices. I think I'll eat the thing that I know I shouldn't eat, even though I know I shouldn't eat it because it's pointless. Or do we say, just this one time I'm going to make a choice to eat the thing that I feel really good about eating. They're little choices, and sometimes they're big choices. Today, I'm going to make that phone call that I've been knowing I should make for 6 months. Today, I'm going to read that thing that I know I should read or that I want to read, that I know will help me, but that I've been avoiding because I think it might be uncomfortable. Every day we make hundreds of choices. You don't have to go out and become the master of all personal vision tomorrow, but you can make little, small, daily empowering choices. And you can also help other people to do this. What that means is holding your vision, honoring it, recognizing the circumstances, and being persistent. Holding the vision in the face of challenges requires, and we heard this from Harriet Tubman, it requires strength, passion, patience, right? And it also requires the support of other people. So, we come into communities like this for a reason. Y'all could be somewhere else this morning, and those of you who are watching it virtually could be doing something. You could be watching some awesome TikTok right now, right? Or you could be on Threads, the latest and greatest and newest social media platform. You could be on Threads. But if you're devoting time to this, there's a reason. And I firmly believe that the reason we come into community is because what we all really want is to be supported by others in honoring our own personal vision for ourselves and our world. So, often we come into a community like this and we try to stay, sort of like low-key, and we don't say, my personal vision is. We try to kind of blend in and fit in and be part, and we're often, this is the dancing part. Imagine yourself at coffee hour and someone's saying, well, I really think this about the political scene. I really think this about this situation. And you get to choose. Maybe you don't see it quite the same. Do you say that? Do you not say that? Do you invite a conversation or do you not? Maybe someone's saying, well, I really want to sail around the world, and you think, yeah, but. Do you say, yeah, but, or do you say, wow, that is an awesome vision. I would love to see how you're going to do that. That's fantastic. Often when we interact with others, we are hoping to have our personal vision affirmed, but we're too scared to say it, and we often are judging other people's personal visions. So I have homework for you all for coffee hour today. Now, those of you who are with us virtually, you can email this to me, okay? But for those of you who are here in person today, here's what I'm going to invite you to do during coffee hour. I invite you to find someone maybe brand new, or maybe that you know a little bit. And instead of saying all the things you usually say at coffee hour, have a conversation about your personal vision for yourself. Okay, how many of you are having yeah buts in your head right now? Did you hear them all? Did you hear all the yeah buts? Do you see how they're pernicious? They're insidious. If you cannot trust the people in this room and in this community who have literally said, we are here to support your personal vision. This is why we are together. If you cannot trust those people and you're already saying, yeah, no way, not happening. Yeah, but no. If you're already saying that, think how much you're limiting your capacity to show the beautiful, amazing person you are to the world. We need you to be you. Folks, we live in a world that is challenged right now. And we need you. You only have the fuel to be your best self when you're being yourself. And we need you. Not who you think you should be, but who you really are, your actual self. I am purposefully trying to catch your eyes, all of you. Because we need you. Not who you think you should be, not the pretend version of you. We need you, every one of you, being you, showing up as you. So during coffee hour today, take a little risk. Pick somebody safe. If the yabbits are super loud, pick somebody safe. Or if nothing else, write it down on a piece of paper. Today, name your vision for yourself and allow somebody else to say to you, and this is the second part of your homework, when someone says, you know, my vision is, please refrain from saying, yeah, but. Please refrain from coming up with all the great solutions about why that's not going to work. Please simply say, that's fascinating. Wow, that's awesome. I didn't see that coming. That's great. Next week, we're going to talk about what it means to have a shared vision, to bring all those visions together, to collectively work as a team, so that each person's voice gets to be heard in a way that contributes to the whole. But for now, ask yourself, can I name who I am? Can I honor and respect that? Can I speak it out loud? Can I ask for help? Can I affirm it to other people? I am going to look forward. Those of you who are with us virtually, send it to me in an email, and I will send you an email back that says, that is awesome. So I'm going to look forward to hearing those. One of the things we're going to do today, in a minute after we take our offering, we're going to do our joys and concerns, and you will have an opportunity to share what's in your heart and mind. For those of you who are with us virtually, be prepared to share those in the chat. I'll be looking at them. But first, Ellen is going to introduce our offering.
Each week, we take an offering to support the work of this congregation, both here within our church and in the wider community. And this quarter, this is a correction from what is in your order of service, actually. We've started a new quarter, and this quarter, our Share the Plate partner is the Unitarian Universalist Association. And we're going to sing while we take the offering. So we're going to sing From You I Receive, to You I Give. And Sandra is going to play for us. The words are very simple. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. So please join us. That was beautiful. Thank you.
So one of the ways we support each other in this community is by sharing our joys, the things that are going well for us, and also our concerns. You could today, if you really felt adventurous, also, if you wanted to share a personal vision, you could do that. And this is the way that we affirm each other, and we support each other, and we help each other. So if you have a joy, a concern, or just a vision you want to share, I invite you to, you can come forward if you like, or Ellen will bring the microphone to you, and we will light a candle. And for those of you with us virtually, I will be looking at the chat on our YouTube. You can add those there, and I will read them.
So I have two, so that'll help make up here. One, I am very proud to announce that my younger daughter, Lynn, as of July 1st, became president of the board of the First Unitarian Church in Rochester, New York. And I'm also happy to say that next Sunday, that's where I'll be going to church, because I'm flying to Rochester on Tuesday to spend 10 days with her, and then I'll be flying back. But while I'm there, my other daughter and family will be coming home from Canada. So they're going to stop for 2 nights, and so we will be having a little family reunion.
This week I got a new set of hearing aids, and this was the first church service where I could hear almost everything everybody said.
That's wonderful. I'll get right up here and light your candle, Dwayne.
Awesome.
I'm Jerry, and you know Alice here. We were overjoyed to have our son and his family and our daughter visiting us within the last 2 weeks. And for those of you who want to keep up with what is going on, of course, our daughter is still living in Chicago, and we're going to go visit her in a couple of weeks. But she came down to visit with us and her brother. Her brother is a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. And he and his wife have produced our only grandchild. So, of course, we lavished lots of attention on little Fox while he was here. And now, sadly for us, they're gone away. Robert and his family are back in Oklahoma City, preparing to move to the Netherlands for Robert's next tour of duty with the Air Force.
I'm going to read one from our virtual attendees. Diane says, I'm feeling much anger and hate for the people taking down the rainbow flag and all the other things in the news. But my joy is appreciation for Reverend Carol inspiring more love. Thank you, Diane. Anger and hate anger is a normal response to feeling threatened. Love is the antidote.
I'm going to tell a story, and there's an element of redemption in the end, so wait for it. This was with regard to problems with the sign out front falling down. Years ago, when the Bush administration was building up military forces in the Middle East, I think it was Yetta Yeager who came in with some signs. And right over in that corner over there, she was giving them out. And it said, "No war on Iraq." Well, I took 2 of those signs and I put them up. I had some big trees in front of my house at the time, so I put them one up high and one down low. And there were incidents where I'd be out in the front yard and people driving by would shout insults. One of the signs got shot up with bullets. Our house got shot up with yellow paintballs. And then the other sign that was down low got spray painted. Well, they used some enamel or something that didn't dry very quickly, so I was able to, with solvent, remove it and restore the sign. But then, redemption. A week or 2 later, I got a phone call. Now, how this person knew my phone number, I don't know. But anyway, it was a young man who said he was one of those involved in painting the sign. And he apologized and offered to make restitution. Now, I don't know who he was. I wish I could have met him. But at least there are people who get caught up in the moment, influenced by those around them to do things outside of their personal morals, who later can realize and react to things that they might have done.
So that's, sometimes we don't live up to our own personal vision for ourselves, and that's okay, because we can always make amends. I have another from our virtual attendees. Christina Galt is joyful that Andy received a much-deserved promotion. So congratulations to Andy for the promotion. And I'm going to read this one from Curtis. Curtis's joy is that Curtis is grateful for having a virtual option to participate in the service every week. Do you have any more in person? Barbara over here has one.
Well,
Barbara.
oh,
There you are.
More about the sign. I wonder if we could put on there one of the 10 Commandments saying thou shalt not steal, or the other, love thy neighbor as thyself.
So hang on for future week's conversation about how to live our shared vision. Please hold. Please hold. Okay, I have another virtual one. Beth is saying she is proud of her husband and herself for being alcohol-free for 1 week today. Carol's words, love is the antidote, really resonated. So thank you for being with us, Beth. I'm glad you're here. Any more? Oh, Mary Frances. Hang on, Mary Frances. Mary Frances is behind you there.
I'm not going to talk about you guys. Stop flinching. So I just want to say real quick, it's a concern. My mom's sick. She has COVID, and now most people think COVID's like having a summer cold, but she does not get out much. She's one of the few people who hasn't had it, and she's pretty sick. So just please lift her up if you can. She was the secretary at TVUC for a long time, so if you know her, if you've been through there, you probably have seen her at some point. So just lift her up. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Hey. As I was looking at the arrangement of the flames over there, it reminded me of Terry Lindemer.
Terry Lindemer, yeah.
Terry used to be a member of this congregation. Terry is a woodworker, and Terry is the one who built that little grouping for the flowers. The lectern over here, the table, all of this stuff, and along the steps, along the base of the stage or whatever there. Terry built all of that. And I think we need to kind of remember his contributions, among the contributions of many others, to what we have today.
So let's take that as sort of our closing thought that we're holding up is think of how the personal visions of other people before us, how living into those visions has created the lives we have. When we live into our visions, whether that's people building this church or creating some kind of a justice organization or cooking a meal, when we live into our vision, whatever it is that's right for us, when we do, Terry, as I understand, Terry Lindemer loved woodworking. It was a passion and a joy. It was his natural voice. That contribution still matters. We still get to enjoy that amazing, beautiful gift. So it doesn't really matter so much what your natural passion is. It always is a contribution that can last. So, we have our community candles lit here next to our chalice. Let us hold those for a moment as a recognition of the struggles in the world, the polarization that desperately wants to suck us into it, folks. We don't have to get sucked into polarization. And the other candle, which is gratitude for all the gifts of all the things of so many people and so many species. We live in a world that is filled with gifts and beauty, and we make 100,000 choices every day where to put our attention. So today, let's make some choices to empower ourselves, to be the love that we are, and to empower others to express the love that they are. May it be so. We're going to sing as our closing a song that some of you will remember from the past as how we sang our children to their classes. When we used to have lots of kids coming on Sundays and they would go to classes, we would sing this song. And what I always think is kind of cute about that is we think that that's for children only. But actually, we all deserve to have this song sung to us, right? The words are, "Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go." We're going to sing it twice. I'm going to invite you to stand as you are willing and able. And this is our chance to be nice to ourselves and to each other. We're going to sing this to ourselves and to each other. Let's do it again. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. I invite you to, if you would like to connect hands with someone nearby, you are welcome to do that. You are absolutely welcome to honor your, I'd rather not grab hands. Are you interested? Be welcomed. If you are with us virtually, we are holding you in the center of this circle as well. You are a blessed gift to the world. We come together as community to honor and recognize and affirm that in one another, in those around us, outside of these walls, and in the world as a whole. Let us go into this week knowing that we carry within us the light of love and beauty that is our innate gift to the world. May you this week and in coffee hour name and affirm your own personal vision for yourself and the visions that others hold for themselves. Go in peace, go in passion.